It is happening, guys. Planet Zoo 2's announced trailer has just dropped, and we are going all the way, and we are going to dive deep. See that already here, and we're going to uncover every single detail in that trailer, including some really exclusive news from a fact sheet we are able to talk about. So let's first of all roll the trailer one more time. I guess you've seen it now 10 times, I've seen it 100 times. So let's watch that first, and then we go into every single detail. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about Planet Coaster 2 as well a little bit, because I've reached some questions in the last couple days. I will address them too. So stick with me and let's go. Alright guys, I have no idea how long this is gonna take, because oh boy, there is so much to see. But I do some house cleaning before we get actually into the wonderful thing over here. So first things first, there is going to be a wonderful release date already, and this is the 13th of October already, which is super early, I think. I expected this no earlier than November, but hey, here we are. And in the fact sheet, and this is important for the kind of, analysis we're doing, there are 9 themes coming to the base game. 9 freaking themes, including 5 returning themes from the original Planet Coaster. They don't really state which ones they are, but we can get a good idea from the footage actually. And there are going to be 4 really new themes. I have no idea if they're already included in this one over here, but there is more to it. We do know that in fact there will be more coming in the course of this Cozy Game Festival on the 6th, 7th of June, which is in about a week and a half times. So exciting times to be here, and we are going to go all in. I grabbed myself a wonderful little tool in which I can mark some stuff over here, as you can tell, and we are going to utilize this tool to highlight a couple of things. So let's stay with this first frame over here, because I mean, there's not too much new stuff to see, and you've already obviously seen everything, you know, birds and aquariums, and there's like I have to contain my hype over here, and I will also try to put my face in these spots where I don't overlay any kind of thing we are seeing. Anyways, so you can see this is the general shot over here, and we do see a couple of wonderful generic wooden beams and stuff. I will do a bit more of an analysis the coming days of scenery itself. I don't want to put this all into this video, because that would be completely over the top and way too long, and I guess you want to live today as well. So I'm going to highlight just a couple of main things over here. And first of all, I want to highlight this foliage stuff over here, because oh boy, do they look fantastic. These things look really damn cool. Looks like a bit of a just simple kind of thing that grows. I mean, nothing in particular that's crazy, but like also if you look at this palm tree over here, or like the tree canopy over here, how good they look. This is really damn good, I gotta say. And also, I'm a big fan of all these pieces over here, and there we can see a little tiger statue, so that means already a tiger as an animal is confirmed. I will try to see all the animals in here that we will be seeing. They are confirmed, which is going to be really cool. There are already a couple of animals in here, so that is going to be pretty crazy. But yeah, we've seen that shot obviously in yesterday's announcement countdown, and this was still in the work. So in fact, yes, they have already prepared that. And also, obviously, I've been sent this trailer a little earlier, why the minute this thing goes live, there is my analysis. So in case you're wondering, obviously I've seen it before about 100 plus times. So that's that. Anyways, let's skip forward a little bit over here because otherwise with this kind of pace, we won't do it today, I guess. So yes, we're zooming in and let's stop over here for a brief second. There's not really that much to see, but I just wanted to quickly highlight the lighting and stuff. This looks absolutely gorgeous, and also people who've been fearing that this is going to look like as poppy as Planet Coaster 2 does. I think we are kind of in the same situation as we have been with Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Zoo, where Planet Zoo just lifted up the mood from a bit more cartoony, like colorful theme park vibes to a more realistic zoo vibe. And I think it's going to be exactly the same, even though this time around the leap forward isn't as crazy because Planet Coaster 2 obviously already looks pretty good as well. Only the foliage in Planet Zoo 2 is looking absurdly great. So zooming upward, you can see there seemingly is an animal down here, as you can see. Hold on, I'm gonna highlight this real quick so you can see that animal right over here, and you don't really get a good idea what that is, but there is going to be a revelation of what animal that is later, so stick with me to learn. And down here, that obviously already looks like a little bit of a aquarium kind of thing. Even though, as I don't really know exactly how aquarium's gonna work, not sure if their habitat or whatever, you can see there is also just about that little bit of water too, so it seems like that whole thing is one big kind of aquarium over here. Very hard to tell what's in there, but we do get a good idea what kind of animals we have. Obviously, there are some deluxe animals already mentioned at the end of the trailer. I'm sure you've all seen that already, so I'm gonna focus on what is not really too obvious. So this seems to be like a bit of an area, and again, not sure if this is like a modular build or a habitat build, but like from the fact sheet, they don't really necessarily put that correctly in words, but they state it's kind of a full customizable aquariums for freshwater and saltwater. So potentially it's gonna be habitat build, but we don't know for certain, and we can also see some wonderful little kind of souvenir shop items over here. So let's just get rid of all these things and skip forward because that is what we got to do. So next up we have our tiger, and this potentially is the Sumatran tiger, in fact. And oh god, watch it. I actually also my throat is a bit itching because of the pollen allergy, so please forgive me for that. But I would be this way anyways. I have watched this for over 100 times and still I can't get over this massive leap forward. If I don't forget, I'm gonna try to put in a screenshot of a tiger in the old game next to it so you can see that right away. Let alone the fur, the differences in how the fur structure is. Look at how just like gentle that is over here. We've got these whiskers in here as well, the short kind of stuff here. So it's yeah, what shall I say, it looks so freaking fantastic, and like the lighting obviously of the global illumination does its wonders. We already knew from Planet Coaster and Jurassic World Evolution 3 how good that's gonna look, but yeah, the model in the first glance you think, yeah, Planet Zoo 1 also looked great, but if you look at them side by side, oh my god, how incredibly good is that looking now. So getting rid of all these things over here, I want to mention also real quick the overall movement of how seamless that little baby is moving. Let's just do that again. Have you seen how they chase? Let's do that again, because I've also looked at that a couple of times. Have a look. Wait, we're gonna do the following. We're gonna do a bit of a time kind of slow-mo here. We're going to have a little slow-mo going on of that little cricker doing its running. Let's have a look again. Oh my god, there's my VLC doing weird stuff. But like, look at the body movement and how it's chasing after the other little kids over there. Because in fact, we do know from the fact sheet that animals do have a completely new behavior, and that new behavior is actually chasing and running after other like juvenile animals, which is really cool. At least that's what I read from the text. I try to be precise as possible over here. So how do I say that? Yeah, I'm assuming they say juvenile zebras playing chase across the savannah, and I guess playing chase then means also the same for the tiger. This is at least how I understood that. But yeah, like that looks really, really damn cool, while this little paw animation here in the front also looks so much more natural and so much nicer than it's used to being before. So this one over here is a bit of a brief one. We can see a couple of little things here. You can see that kind of watch on the arm, and this is not super relevant, but it just says that we have the upgraded kind of people that we also used to be seeing in Planet Coaster 2, and they are actually a massive upgrade from the peeps in Planko and Planet Zoo 1. And we also do see a returning little kids enrichment, as I call it. This is like one of these kids educational thingies over here, and we do see a return of our wonderful donation box, which we all kind of don't really like too much. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this model, but hey, whatever, I'm gonna cover that up anyways. So that's that. Let's get rid of these things and move forward a little. So you can see, oh my god, these little excuse these little image problems over here. Oh, I think because I didn't put that on full speed again. So we have seen that kid running behind her. Let's do that one more time. So you can see that these kids running behind her, and she's like, oh my god, I gotta go with them. So we can see maybe a couple more new behaviors, even though it's obviously a stage trailer, so always keep that in mind, that maybe not every single behavior is actually happening exactly the way. But what's kind of cool is it's kind of the same girl as over there. She's like having her little hand in front of her mouth, being in shock and awe how great that is. She's like observing this, and then she's like, hey, wait a second, let's go. I'm a big fan of that theme in the background. That looks like the Asian theme with a couple of upgrades in the thatch roof and stuff. Not really sure if it is, so it might also be a new kind of Polynesian theme though, because I don't really reference the pieces exactly. I remember those we had were a little bit different, but they have done improvements to the OG Planko 2 themes as well when they brought them back into the game. So the hope is there that they even do more than just like a de-implementation, but also improvement by giving us more like flexi color and stuff. So moving on, this shot, guys, I don't know. I've tried to record this whole bit here many times. Okay, it's pretty late now. I have to finish this. This has to be the version. I can't contain myself. Okay, this is freaking absurd. Not only that the lighting and stuff obviously is insane. I mean, the framing of this shot with the girl over here and then opening up this insane view. It's typically Planet style oversized, so don't get me wrong, this typically is something you do see in aquariums, but it's a typical kind of frontier thing. However, there are obviously a couple of things to see over here, and a couple of things is just like, yeah, I mean, okay, let's begin. So first of all, we do see this little fellow over here, which I have no idea what the name of this fish is, but it looks very freaking funny. I could have just asked my phone to understand which one it is, but I was unsure to scan it beforehand. Yeah, I was just like, I don't want to leak too much or whatever, and I don't really have, you guys got to tell me in the comments, but we have a whole bunch of swarms of different type of fish, as you can see. I mean, look at the amount of different type of fish swarms we have over here, and these are different variants of fish. I mean, I guess this one and this one, this one and this one, potentially that one and that one is the same. Not sure about that one, but so you can see this is like 1, 2, 3 different kind of swarm schools, whatever this is like. Not sure if we need to manage every single fish. That would be an absurd drop-down menu, gotta say that. And then we obviously down here, we have our friend, as you can see here, but we are going to get a way better view of that one. And here, we've got a wonderful green sea turtle, which is one of the most favorite animals I would ever wanted to have in this game. And now we have it right away alongside the hammerhead shark, which is announced for the deluxe pack, and a couple of other fish as well. But you also can, I mean, I don't need to go through all these typical kind of coral leaf thingies, and just like, it is absolutely incredible what we can see over here. Anyways, let's move forward a tiny bit because we're not doing covering much ground over here. Let's just do a little bit again. Look at the movement of the swarms and the fish. Look at the movement, the pacing, the speed, the floating, the everything in here. I'm just going to leave that running for a bit. We are going to check out in a second, but like, okay, we got to go back a little because there's so much to see. So let's just skip forward to that little moment in time. Let me grab my pen again. So yeah, this is the freaking most insane model I've ever seen of a green sea turtle in any game. That is just beyond me. How they made this. Like, look at the little wrinkles over here on the skin, and like this is just so much more detail than Planet Zoo 1 had to offer. And granted, Planet Zoo 1 animals looked freaking amazing, guys. They looked fantastic. And yeah, I don't know. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm beyond speechless. I have had relatively low expectations because of Planet Coaster 2. I had adjusted expectations when I saw the trailer, when they gave us early access to that one. And now the more I'm looking at it, it's like, oh my god, please don't bottle it because it's looking so incredibly good. Yeah, we can see a lot of different type of fish. This one is the dogfish from also Finding Nemo. I remember that one. How's it called? Also Scar or whatever he's called in there. But yeah, anyways, a lot of great fish variants in here. Again, I don't know all the names in English, let alone in German, so I'm not even attempting. But obviously the big one over here is pretty obvious. So let's just get rid of that, because the next frame is even so much more interesting. If we go on, you can see there is a diver just popping into the scene. I'm just going to leave that in for a moment. Look at the absolute insane detail on its gear and on the wetsuit over here in general. Look at the lighting. Look at her Crocs, by the way. I love these things. I love these shoes. I've never seen them before in the Planet game, but I love them. This is what I'm wearing in the garden too, by the way. If you wondered, this is what I'm wearing in the garden too. And I used to be quite a lot in the garden lately, so that's that. But also, more interestingly, in the background, you can see this is the souvenir shop returning. And one thing we can already confirm, it is definitely going to be the variant that we do see in Planet Coaster 2 as well, because I can see a couple of things returning from these like ring keys, key rings or whatever it is called, the mugs and stuff. And it is definitely on a normal type of path, as you can see over here. And this just kind of tells me that is exactly like it is in Planet Coaster 2, and it just kind of makes sense that we do get an upgraded version of this. I'm pretty sure that is. I also want to quickly mention these plants down here, how incredibly great they look. You don't really see them too good, but like it's really damn good. Anyways, let's continue a bit more, because the next kind of, I'm just gonna get rid of of this kind of, yeah, I could stop at every frame, but for the sake of of getting this video done today, I have to skip a couple of things over here. But like all the pieces, all the things, everything, like look at this eye, look at the detail, look at everything. Look at this, look at the lighting, how it's like, oh god. They do say in the fact sheet that we are allowed to reference to, they do say it's a combination of light ray shaders and global illumination, making the water fully dynamic lighted, or lighting in the water. However that works, but it just, I mean, we can tell from the trailer it looks absurd, like how the rays in here behave with everything else. And like, oh, we zoom out, okay, I mean, let's do that. I'm gonna stop here for a brief second because, oh god, there is again so much more to see. So this is the first revelation. I guess this is where everyone was cheering, escalating, whatever. You guys hopefully went absolutely mad at this point, because I've seen so many people saying, do we get birds, or do we get aquatics, or do we get both? But a lot of people said we get only one of those two things, but now it's confirmed we will get both things at the same time, because there are some aviaries already visible in here. We can see three different aviaries. But before we talk about those, let's quickly get rid of these things and focus for a brief second on rocks, okay? I want to focus on rocks, because these freaking textures and rocks look like, mwah, they look chef kiss, they look perfect. This, assuming we are going to have scaling in this game, I do assume this, like it's not confirmed, but hey, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to not have scaling if you have that in your 2 other games. That would be a huge letdown. And I was trying to see if scaling is in, and the way I tried to do that is I tried to see if these little cobble pieces over here have been used in different sizes. And it could be the perspective. It could be, obviously. But this thing over here looks smaller than that clutter over here. And seemingly this is the same kind of piece. We might assume that there is scaling in the game. I mean, it's very hard to tell from over here. It's very hard to tell. But, you know, that is just my little assumption over here. But let's move forward, because what you guys want to see is the Aviaries. There's another one just popping in down here. I could go in and try to make like an analysis of all these things. There's just one thing I want to quickly highlight. And this is basically that plaza down here. There you go. I was a bit worried when I saw the images yesterday on the live stream counter. I was a bit worried. I was hesitant. I was like, oh my god, that looks a lot too much like the old pathing tool. And you basically, because you only saw like these typical kind of ramps like you see over here. But definitely what I can say is this plaza area over here, there is no way you could have done that in the old game. There's no way you could have done that. This looks like the new pathing tool, stamp tool, whatever, because you can see there's also like that railing going on down here, and it just kind of looks like the new tool, to be completely honest with you guys. The same over here, there's like a little kind of plaza that would be very hard to do with the old pathing tool, and again, it would be absolutely madness if you just kind of create this insane tool and then you don't bring that over into another one. What you can also see is down here, you can see the gelato bros are definitely back, the ice cream, and there is this new adapted variant of Chief Leaf. There is Cosmic Cow down here too as a returning brand as well, and this looks to be like a staff area, and this staff area is making me a little bit heavy breathing, because I don't see the boxes. I don't see boxes of staff buildings, guys. There are no boxes. They're like open windows. You can see inside of them. And remember when I made this video about what I wish as a wildcard, one of my 3 wildcard ideas was like modular staff buildings or like open staff buildings. That is just pure guessing over here. But I stared at this area here for way too long. And I was like, hey, wait, this is like a research lab. That's a workshop. That's a, what's that? Like a keeper hut. That's the vet. And I can clearly tell there's no box. There's not our ugly kind of box thing in here. It's open. And it looks like piece by piece build. Yeah, heavy breathing intensified. Because if we go further, you can see also in here, there's another shot on the souvenir shop. A million great pieces. There seems to be the new mascot for, well, like Chief Leaf. How do we say leaf, beef, belief? Leaf, belief. How can we process this? What we can also tell down here is it's not a full box thing. We seem to get back our little I mean, that makes sense as well, that we do get the counters back and the full boxes. So there we are. There we go. That's a little confirmation we needed. Love that design over here. It's so zoo inspired. I remember last year when I've been to Valencia Biopark, or Biopark, I should say. They had this type of style going on there in all the souvenir shops and stuff as well. Really zoo-like. I love it. I absolutely love it. And all the pieces look just freaking gorgeous. I keep it running for a little because we have this wonderful elephant and wildebeest over here. I want to go back for a little. There you go. This is an area I'm very curious. And one thing I want to highlight is the dead trees over here. There are a lot of dead trees in, which is, in the first glance, it's not too surprising. But we do have a little info in the fact sheet, and that reads out like sea or chimpanzees scale climbing frames with a newfound freedom, giraffes eating from foliage from trees. And yeah, then the juvenile. So that means the animals can eat from trees. So maybe these are dead variants because people were so clever to put them into a habitat with elephants, which, if you know elephants, you'd better do not put any trees in their reach inside of a habitat, because they will eventually look like that. So I guess there is a way higher chance that this is just dead tree variants of trees. They put them down because they know that would be how they look. But at least for me, there is a chance bigger than 0 that this might be the result of animals eating from plants, and then eventually these plants get dead or dry or whatnot. So that is my little assumption over here. But yeah, looking at this elephant model, you can see the leap forward in animals designs. This almost looks like the cinematic trailer from Planet Zoo 1. Remember when there was that reveal trailer? That was a fully CGI kind of animated one over here. And what got me curious about these trees, by the way, is that these trees look way too detailed for the typical kind of broken down trees we had in the first game. Like the typical broken down branches and stuff. They looked absolutely gorgeous, but they never looked like that. And if we skip back for a second, especially that tree here on the left, that one looks very similar to this tree variant over here. If you just kind of try to imagine this one would be dead as well, looks very similar to this variant. So obviously it would be an easy fix to just have the two models in the game, no doubt about that. But yeah, I'm just like assuming this. And yeah, that elephant shot over here is just beyond me, with the aviary peeking here in the background. Yeah, what shall I say? It is just insane. Yeah, I mean, this is the next bit over here, and this is where I got a little bit more confident with my scaling theory, because again, we can see these, whoops, sorry, that was a bit wild. There's like this clutter, there is a clutter, and down here's another clutter as well. So they look all different sized, and I'm assuming we don't have 3 different sizes of stones anymore in here. That might, and also going again into my theory of the branches and the dead trees, we do have seemingly a typical kind of dead tree thingy over here. That one looks more like it. And yeah, did I say that I love the rocks, the textures of the rocks? Look at them. Look at them. Oh, I'm in love with the freaking rocks. Look at this. Just like, you're my love, my brand new love. Also, I love the behavior of the guests. I love these kind of railings over here. I love the zebras, how they look. I love also I mean, it's hard to focus. Again, it's my 5th attempt recording right now. I still can't. So let's skip back a little bit over here, because we have to check out the movement of the zebras again. It's just so look at this little run, almost like jumping in awe. So good. And the next revolution is just coming over here, and oh my god, VLC, stop doing these images. It's just, I mean, can we just let's have a look at that. First of all, we have brachiation on chimpanzees, which is a brand new thing, but can we talk about the facial expression of that one? And there's another one down here. Can we just speak about how insanely realistic that looks? That is a bajillion times leap forward. And again, if I remember, I'm gonna put another wonderful chimpanzee next to it. Let's see if we can get a little closer if we go frame by frame. Hold on for a sec. So here we go. Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect shot. So let's keep that one. Actually, you know what? Maybe we go a little. Yeah, there you go. And I'm gonna put like over here. Let me just quickly check the time frame. Okay, 25 minutes in. Oh boy. This is how it's gonna look. And we're gonna put an old friend of us from the old game next to it. Yeah, what shall I say, guys? The fur, everything. This one also, he went to the gym. My god, he's muscular. Anyways, he needs to be to do this kind of brachiation over here. Let's do that. Let's check that out one more time. Oh, look at also how the positioning of the hands, like how freaking insane. He's really grabbing that log. Look at this. It's not this old kind of hand moving inside of that. He's like really grabbing that log. Oh boy, I'm so excited. And then we do see some crocs coming back. And again, oops, let's just, before we go into the next big thing, let's have a little look at this croc over here. Oh my god, look. Oh my god. And don't do a drinking game, me saying, oh my god, or so, because that's not going to end well. So we have this model, realistic photograph of a crocodile over here. Again, a million times leap forward. The water also around that little bay here in the back, and I'm gonna have a hard time playing Planet Zoo 1 from now on, guys. A very hard time. This shot, before we go absolutely into the aviary, first of all, I do love the fact we have got a toucan flying up there, or all the way. Then we also have this wonderful little couple sitting in here in the semi-shadow. Look how great the lighting looks at that shot. And we still follow our little girlie around. She's giving us a little tour, which I do love. Look at this lighting over here. How freaking realistic that looks. It just all looks... Absolutely gorgeous. And what we got to talk about is, and I don't even know how to put that in words. When I read this in the fact sheet, I was like, what? So you do see this pole over here and there and the netting, and I'm not sure how exactly that's going to function. But the fact sheet states that this is fully customizable and buildable with a new tool. Whatever that means. We got to find out soon, I guess, in the game show, in the Cozy Game Show. But I want to know. But first of all, God, so what we do already know from these images and stuff, we do have walkthrough aviaries. So that's obviously the kind of gate we already know. But I mean, can we talk about this absurd level of cuteness over here of the toucans? Like, it looks like a freaking CGI. This is in-game footage, and it looks like freaking CGI. I'm like, what the heck? Look at these guys. Look at these things. Look at the claws. Look at like how the positioning is and everything. I can't. It is just too freaking good. Oh, we left some little markers here on the screen. Yeah, I mean the beak, the model, the feathers, the overall, like the lock, the texture on the lock, the scale, the fact that they can fly in here. What shall I mention? What shall I say? This is just all too freaking good. I'm gonna leave left that plane again without these pixel issues. I mean, let alone here. Look at how they fly through here, and then that looks really damn good. And we also get that wonderful view of, yeah, I mean, what shall I say? This is one of the absolute freaking most demanded animals from the animal list, and finally we have the secretary bird in the game. Yeah, what shall I say about this model? It just blew me away the moment I saw that. Absolutely fantastic. And then also there is a little hint down here. We are going to have a look at that one. Down here we have to look at that tablet in a second, but also I love the fact what the girl is doing. I gotta say, a fantastic little showcase of driving the focus of like people's focus into a wrong direction. So we may have skipped that one. But speaking of fan favorites, there's another fan favorite that we were lacking in the first game, and I'll get to that in a second. There you have that. And this is also going to reveal which animal we have seen at the beginning of the analysis. There you can see that this is a tree kangaroo, and that is one of these animals that we wanted to have forever and ever again. I mean, not me personally, but I've seen, because I'm fearing like the Koala Gate 3.0 now, but like I'm like, you know, I wouldn't say no to it. Let's put it that way. But I wanted to also highlight the little pebbles down here, these little stones, and also the way how the foliage down here looks with the light like glazing over it. I mean, I'm talking quite a lot in this video, but I'm still lost for words. It is just insane what we are looking at over here. I'm a big fan of the glow up of the vet. I think the vet looks a little bit more vet-like, modern vet-like. I don't know what exactly it is. I like this new polo shirt design. I'm assuming fully customizable and recolorable again, as always. But we are still not done yet. There is one more revelation that is going to be insanely big, and I'm going to leave that playing for a moment, because this, I mean, can we just, like how the feathers that have that little effect as if they were swinging in the wind, and like everything about this, and then the logo revelation over here with that, like, have you also seen these little bubbles popping up over here? Oh my god, have a look. There's this bird turning into that sea turtle, and then we've got these little, there are these little bubbles over here. Oh, I love that little detail. I love that little animation. I love how they look, everything. Down here we got some elephants, wildebeest, and I can't really say if there's more to see in here. But what you can see is that it's a freaking humongous map. And we're getting to that because there's another information, and maybe you know by now, but maybe you're watching the video and you don't. So here's that information. There is going to be a brand new mode in this game, which is going to be the wildlife reserves. This will be fully natural reserves that we can all build by ourselves. Yes, you heard that right. And how do they say that correctly? Expansive wildlife reserve. So meaning they will be bigger than actual zoos, and we are going to get a little glimpse of it after the logo. Actually, they're going to, it's almost like a post-credit scene. But this picture for me is unbelievable. This picture over here is incredible. I mean, The fact that we can build this on our own is almost like certain, because we have our pebbles over here. We've seen a couple of times some of the tree models. We see the wildebeest, we see the zebra, we do see obviously the little cute elephant, and a whole bunch of things we've seen before as well. There is a couple of other stones down here. I don't need to mention how insanely great the water looks. There's like a fallen log over here as well. Yeah, I mean, what should I say? This is like the fact that we have wildlife reserves. I could nerd out about that, but I'm gonna make a dedicated video to the idea of wildlife reserves because I love it. I'm almost certain they will do something about like reintroduction and releasing them into wild, because that was something in the first game that had no real connection to the animal. As soon as you released it into the wild, it's been gone, you know, you couldn't see it anymore, and maybe this is a way to still follow what your animal is doing. So yeah, but I mean, what I do love is that little animation of that little elephant here in the water. Like, let's play that again. Let's just have a look at this again, like with this little oasis down here. Oh my god. Also, this looks freaking like herding over here. Wait, oh, they are moving in herds. Oh my god, guys, they are moving in herds. I haven't, oh my god, they're moving in herds. This is way more, this is already more herding behavior than I've ever seen in Planet Zoo 1, despite the fact it kind of has been said it would be. But yeah, oh my god. So, we are still not done. This is another very important screen over here, because the game is coming the 13th of October, 2026. That is not that long ago, into whatever, my English is broken, not Englishing anymore. But the last bit that is very important for us is this screen over here. So, the deluxe edition is crazy, but you know what's even more crazy? It's the price point of this game. The price tag of this game will be, and now please guys, make sure you take a deep breath, because I found this incredible. The price tag for the standard version is £39.99, which I guess equals to 45 euros or dollars, I guess, which is exactly the price as it is right now. And the deluxe edition is 54.99 for the pound version, and obviously I think 60 for the dollar and euro version. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That is just, it's crazy. That is in a time where a freaking Nintendo game costs you 80 bucks plus, in a time where you are used to having games that go to the 90 euros, and in a time where we are seemingly getting a crazy sequel to a game that we all love. This is a really fair price point in my opinion. However, let's get into what would 15 euros buy you extra, and that is 6 additional species, animal species. That's a very interesting phrasing. I'll get to that in a moment, but what we are getting is the golden eagle. Lovely bit over here. Did I change the size of my little bubble over here? Why did I do this? The golden eagle, make that a bit more bold. That one is good. Then we get the golden lion tamarin, another very much fan favorite. We get back an axolotl, seemingly a bit of a different variant of the one we had, but I'm not too curious about that one, even though that is our very first hint on existing exhibits, because we haven't really seen much more of that in the trailer, or maybe I missed that because of my excitement carried me away. That might be because I was seeing that thing over here, the hammerhead shark. What is that? Then also down here you can see the Sumatran tiger again. You can see the blue and cold fusilier and the longfin batfish. This one looks awesome, by the way. That's absolutely obvious why this is a bad fish. And again, I'm not sure how these fish will be treated, because they absolutely come in huge amounts. So not sure how they will deal with this. But we will also get another couple of things. And this is a tiger photo wall. We will be seeing these kind of, as I said, kids enrichment items, but like in general education items making a return, which is great. We are going to get the toucan eat shop, which is lovely. Love that. And we are getting 3 animal donation bins, and as I said earlier, I hated the base game one, so this is actually a good plus for me that we are getting this. So yeah, that is absolutely freaking fantastic. And obviously you're also getting deluxe animal signs for the animals in that deluxe pack, which makes sense. The only one that's not included is a sign for the axolotl, but I guess that's always been the case because these exhibit animals, for whatever reason, don't really have one, but that's fine. I'm also not really, I hope they stick to the same style as they used to be doing in Planet Zoo 1 at the time, so that they all have a similar style to all the signs. I love the style, it's all good, so hope they continue with that. Oh my god, 36 minutes. It's not too bad. I had longer versions of my analysis the times I attempted beforehand, because from now on, there's not really much more coming other than the wonderful pattern over here. Okay, let's just quickly stay to this point over here, because we do have more. We do have some screenshots. There we have it. We are not done. We are not done yet. We had some screenshots sent to us as well. So here is another still of the absurdly great looking green sea turtle. And if we go further, we have our first look at the UI, and we do have a saltwater crocodile, which yeah, I gotta grab my pen here because I got a pen. I got a pineapple. Okay, sorry. You can see this is the refreshed UI, and shall I tell you something? I love it. I love it. There is so much to see in here. There are so many things to see. I adore it. The UI looks absolutely great. One of my biggest fears was another UI mistake like they did with Planet Coaster 2, but it's not. It looks like a super good continuation of the first UI. Much more. It looks a little more playful, a bit more like a Zoopedia kind of thing, but a lot more grown up, if you know what I mean. A little bit more serious. So we're gonna go through this real quick. I guess this is information toggle, Zoopedia, kind of events. Then we have like, it looks like the task we're doing, research, heat maps. Then we do have a very cool left-handed little toolbar, which I'm a big fan of. I always opted for having something on the left hand as well to get more screen and real screen estate down here. So we have pathing tool, we do have a fence tool, we do have the terrain sculpting as that looks like, we do have a multi-select and a bulldozer. What I'm really interested to see is how that works with the, if they do, because I don't see a scenery brush, but that shouldn't mean anything. Maybe they have put this into landscaping, who knows. Then we get trading down here, we got research, we got the zoom management, we got staff management, habitats, aquariums, exhibits, obviously as a little thing, and also can see that little feather down here. Oh my god, yeah, that's not how you see that, but there's like a little paw and a feather, meaning habitats are treated as habitats, and the aviaries are habitats too, but aquariums are their very own category. So I'm not sure how exactly that's gonna work, so we have to look at that too. But what's also much more interesting to see is this down here. That is very, very interesting to me. This looks almost like a season slider, because that, like, Y2 definitely means year 2. I mean, maybe like a reference to Planet Zoo 2. We got 30 degrees right now, which for this tropical region would make sense in that time of the year, because that would be January, February, March, kind of this time of the year is the hot region, hot time to go there, like in Asia and so on. So that would make sense, and this could be this could mean actual seasons in the game finally, just as they are in Planet Coaster 2 as well. What I do miss though, and this kind of makes me a little bit anxious, there is no time of day. There is no, like in Planet Coaster you would have, let's say, oh my god, I can't. This is just bad. You would have like a time down here, you know. This is where you would have like 11:11 right now down here, you know, and then that would count up. So this would assume that we have a full day cycle. Maybe it's not the case because of this way how the game functions. So maybe they do stick to this multiple day kind of attempt. And to be fair, from a management point of view, I do think it's much more relevant to a coaster theme park to have a full day and night cycle and a full day cycle opposed to a zoo. I guess you could get away with a monthly managing of a zoo much more simply, but I don't know. It's just what I assume. Then we do have a look at our wonderful animal overview, and it seems like it's all kind of the same as we had before. The welfare, animal appeal, all kind of the same. There's no real thing I'm very kind of curious about. You can assign certain keepers to this specific animal, which is cool. You can request a clean, which is good. Down here, by the way, all these buttons, oops, I've got the eraser at hand. So down here, these buttons also seem like pretty much the same as they were before. But there's like one more new button, which is that one down here. I'm not sure what that is going to be. Looks a bit more like heat maps as well, but I'm not certain what that is. But yeah, a very, very cool image that did give us a really cool look at the UI. Absolutely love that. So next picture is our Sumatran tiger again, which also, look at that. This Sumatran tiger is interacting directly with the tree. Love that. Love that. It seems to be like an enrichment tree again of some sort. That would be fantastic. And do I need to mention how good that looks? That just, I don't know. That is insane. That is absolutely insane, guys. This is all freaking insane. Okay, we got more. This is not all. We got another wonderful shot of the toucan. And another thing that I want to highlight is look at how the claws perfectly shaped around that log over here. It's not a misalignment. I mean, we definitely gonna see glitches, don't get me wrong, it's gonna happen, but just the fact that they can sit very precisely, also as we've seen in the trailer as well. And also down here, that whole bit down below, look at the lighting. This looks like a real image, like how it's all like subtly, almost like indirect. Oh, it's just, yeah, I mean, that is just insane. That is just absolutely insane. Okay, moving on. There's another picture of the savannah. I love the ripples down here of the elephant drinking. You've seen that in the trailer too. Seems like fully dynamic water when you've seen the elephants and stuff running through the water, and also the croc swimming and everything. It looks almost like there's real physics of like the animals going through water, actually having active physics and creating ripples. Looking so much better than the first game, and yeah, I'm like completely in awe with everything we see. And then there's that insane shot of a chimp sleeping on a log at nighttime. I mean, what shall I say? What shall I say? Maybe we're gonna look at some other habitats over here. That is the amount of things you can see, the lighting. Everything looks fantastic on this shot. And then we have another shot over here, and we've seen them. Obviously, they're all from the trailer, just in high res. And we can obviously zoom in a little bit nicer and see that there is like a couple of logs in here. We can see all these footers of the aviary. We can see that there is the tiger down here. By the way, we can see some of the old enrichment items popping up again. There is another enrichment item we already knew from the past. So a couple of these things make a return, which is totally fine, by the way. This is by any means any criticism. This is just meant to be. We also do see one of the habitat gates here on the left hand side. I don't see multiple gates. I have checked, triple checked, quadruple checked, whatever, many times I've checked. I don't see more than one gate, but that doesn't need to mean anything. We do also see there is a different type of door here for entering the aquariums. Looks like a bit of an airlock over here, as you can tell, how they can get in and then swim into the water. I really imagine that they would go in, and then this one is going to be filled with water, and then they can swim into it, which I do guess is kind of an airlock variant of it, which is super cool, which I am very happy with how that is, like the solution of that thing is. And yeah, you can see how that looks in here. Oh my god, wait, is that a stingray? That is, I mean, wait, we haven't got confirmation of that one. No, we haven't. I can't find it anywhere, but that is a stingray, guys. Oh, it's kind of a ray, isn't it? This is the first time I see this. This is not I assumed that were leaf or like scenery pieces, but I was like, for a brief second, I was like, wait, this is not the same kind of habitat I saw earlier. This looks like a ray. Oh, hello, my friends. I haven't seen this before, so add that to the list. We do have some stingrays, or this is not a stingray, or maybe the LODs from the distance do not show the tail. Yeah, I wish to see that little education board over there. That would have helped me. But yes, so good that we can see this. In here, we also can't really see much more. There's like this cool water element over here, how the refraction is. I tried to see a lot of things, but that is the last frame we have. Time to wrap up, guys. All right. it's time to wrap up, and I did promise that we will briefly talk about Planet Coaster 2, and you will be like, man, we've just the biggest revelation of the year. Why do you want to talk about Planet Coaster 2? Because keep calm, everyone. I have read so many comments yesterday that especially Coaster friends were like, oh my god, rip Planet Coaster 2, great, the next game they will be abandoning, and so on and so forth. Absolutely not. And I can almost certainly confirm that. I have no official confirmation of that one, but I can tell you, end of last year, I was invited to the offices, as you know. I've been seeing some of the stuff, some of the DLCs they've been working on before. You guys saw the Sorcery pack and the Toy Box set, and we were ensured that there is a long-term plan to support the game. So please, don't estimate that this game will change any of the plans and direction of Planet Coaster 2, because what I can also ensure you is these are separate teams. They used to be separate teams, and there still are separate teams. And there is another factor you have to calculate into it. There is more than a year less of a difference between both games. In the past, Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Zoo were almost 4 years apart. If you consider the beta and alpha of Coaster as the initial date, then that was almost 4 years apart. Now we are 2 years apart, not even 2 years. We've got a November release 2024 of Planet Coaster 2, and we have an October release of Planet Zoo, so that makes it not even 2 years of being a part of these two games, which, to be honest, is very good, and I do hope that there's a lot more crossover of all the games, because I have already seen a couple of pieces that seemed oddly familiar to what I have seen from Planet Coaster 2, and we already have seen a lot of pieces in Planet Coaster 2 that look oddly familiar to Planet Zoo, so they would be stupid if they don't utilize these synergy effects from both games, and if they are clever, they will use both games to make them move in parallel and develop in parallel, because a lot of the systems will be shared across both universes and both franchises. So I have huge hope that this is gonna be great, and I've got huge hope that this Planet Zoo 2 over here is gonna avoid all the mistakes that Planet Coaster 2 did and learn from those. And we can already tell by 5 returning themes, they understood the assignment that we want the old themes back. There seems to be the fact that we have birds and aquatics in here. We give the people what they want. They seem to have learned from it. And as much as I can understand the frustration for Planet Coaster 2 at this point, let's just be honest. We are all happy to get another great game from them, hopefully, that learn from the mistakes and which tells us they have listened and learned, hopefully, and so we can see the same effects happening to Planet Coaster 2. In any case, to all the zoo fans out here, I have one big promise to you to make. If you guys loved Planet Zoo and you are so hyped now, just as I am, for Planet Zoo 2, please get Planet Coaster 2. Give this game a chance, because you will be learning a lot of the new tools that presumably we are getting in this game. A lot of the lighting upgrades are already in. A lot of the potentially path upgrades are already in. A lot of the way how the game functions and looks is in there. So you can learn a lot of the things that will be available to you, including scaling, hopefully, in Planet Zoo 2 as well. So give this game a chance. It is the time to do it. Grab it from wherever you can. Make sure to get it, even instant gaming or so. Just get yourself the game, have a look at it. You don't even need to use the deluxe edition. Just give this game a chance, or try to do it in Game Pass, because it's also in Game Pass. So give this game a chance, because it will give you a very big excitement for what's coming up with Planet Zoo 2. I could nerd about this now forever and ever, but it's time to wrap up. I have to go to bed at some point, and you want to have the enjoyment of the hype now. So thank you from the bottom of my heart watching this whole analysis. If you did, thank you so much. If you skipped here, I see you, but I still do thank you very much. And in case you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please help out your fellow wonderful camel creator. I would love to welcome you all in the crew. We are going to cover every single bit, what's coming, what's upcoming. I can promise there's a lot coming soon, and I cannot wait to talk you through a lot more things upcoming in the future about Planet Zoo 2, but also about the other Frontier games and other games as well. So please hit that subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. And now, let's just be happy. Thank you so much, and bye. See you.